reason that I wanted to interview you is because you were actually one of the very first people that I even shared my idea with. And so, as somebody who, in a way, has been there from the very beginning, I thought that your perspective and your story of that arc could be really interesting.
I love that. Yeah, I'm down.
Do you remember when I shared the idea for the deodorant project with you?
I tell that story a lot, actually. Yep. And a lot of the time, I actually told it this last weekend because I said how um, I have really tried to find a place of non-judgment in myself because I feel like I do that. Maybe it's subconsciously or just, outwardly sometimes. And when you had, I had this buildup in my head of what I thought it could be because I could tell originally when we talked that it was just like it was something that you were keeping close to home, and I didn't feel like I didn't feel necessary that I wanted to pry or anything like that. So I was just kind of walking you through the process of just things that I would have had to go through. And I think I had it in my head built up that it was something so crazy. And then when I found out it was deodorant, I was like, oh, wow, like really? That's what it was. And I was like, somewhat, I don't even know if let down is the right word, but I was just like, damn, I don't know if that's going to do very well. And literally the first time I tried it, I've told you this before, I was like blown away. And I was like, shit. So, regardless of the deodorant and how much I like it, it has taught me a place of um, just the universe maybe way of showing me non-judgment and to say, hey, this is something that you need to work on. So,
The deodorant itself has
yep,
gone through some transformation.
yep,
Do you remember like when I wrote to you and asked about your shirts?
yep.
Tell me about that.
So I didn't realize that it was the deodorant that was doing that. I had noticed maybe even a tiny bit more perspiration, if that might have been it. Maybe I was just sweating more because I thought I had been working out a lot more, so I thought that might have had something to do with it. And I didn't realize until I started to like look. I think it was a couple of my white shirts that I had noticed it on. That there was somewhat like a little bit of a stain, and ever since you got the formula switched up, I haven't had any issues like that. I've also one of the main things that I've gotten from it too is that, and we talked about this before, but um, every deodorant that I had used in the past, I would have a huge rash down my armpit, and it was something where it was, I'd go to hot yoga, and I was almost embarrassed to, you know, uh, put my hands up, my arms up like this because I would have a huge rash, and you know, um, I'm usually not a self-conscious person and about things like that, and it kind of made me feel like a little bit uncomfortable because, I was like, "Oh, I don't wanna be that person, who's got this huge rash going up and down their armpit." So, um, yeah, I think that was another huge breakthrough that we had.
Good.
Haven't
Um,
had that for 1 day since I've switched over to yours.
Excellent. Um, yeah, and when I learned that the original formula was discoloring shirts, like that was really hard. Like I stopped all production, like I sent out a newsletter. I was like, "Oh my God, I can't
Yep.
believe like my bad. How can I make it right?" And for the most part, people didn't really like seem to mind,
Yeah.
but I'm really really pleased with how the new formula has taken care of that problem.
Yep. Yeah, I think anytime building a business, right, it's the universe shows you things that you need to fix or you need to alter. And I feel like the longer that develop this product and the better that you're going to get at it, the more you're going to start to see that those little things that happen that at the time you think are really shitty are actually huge transformations in the lifeline of that product that were necessary in order to put it to where it was at today.
Yeah. So your what fragrance is your deodorant?
Mine's more Palo Santo and sage orientated, but I usually leave that into your hands to kind of develop whatever it is from there. But yeah, it does have a I personally like mine a little bit stronger where I can kind of smell it on myself. But the one thing I did notice too is when I had worn deodorant before, and even more, even sometimes what I thought was natural deodorant, quote unquote, is that I would go to the gym in the morning and then I'd come home and I could smell like my odor coming off of my arms. And for me, that was like a major sign that it's like, well, if I can smell this, then I'm sure as hell other people are smelling it and I feel bad. Maybe they just haven't said anything to me. And I remember one day that I went to the gym in the morning, came back, and I had put your deodorant on in the morning. And then for whatever reason, I don't know why, but I didn't shower that day. And I woke up the next morning and it was the weekend. And I remember laying in bed and having a nice, smooth but strong smell of that Palo Santo. And it was a very like refreshing feeling to know that I hadn't showered and that I had still and had sweat the day before and still had a good smell on me that was not odor related.
Well, good,
Yeah,
good. Really glad, and thank you so much for letting me get it on film so that I
of
can.
course.
I always feel kind of uncomfortable like selling my own stuff, but when somebody else is happy and is willing to like authentically share,
Yep.
me, that's the best. Like this, I feel comfortable sharing, you know?
Awesome. I can say that I have no interest of ever trying a different deodorant in my life, and I would love to just continue forward with what we got, and maybe even switch it up, some different smells. But yeah, I've been really happy with it. It's been something that has altered my perception of what I thought that I knew, and it's one of those things where sometimes things that you don't know are really things that once it happens, it really alters your perception. So I'm very
Other thing,
grateful and
yeah, one of the things you texted early on was like, wow, I didn't know how unhappy I was with my old deodorant until I tried yours. Yeah.
100%. That's yep. That I remember saying that, and that's exactly the way that I feel for sure.
And any time that you want to change your, your formula, you let me know. I'm happy
Okay.
to.
Okay.